General Motors will be entering Formula One as a power unit manufacturer in 2028. The engine will be a Cadillac. GM have formally registered this with the FIA, which means they are under some sort of commitment. They could presumably back out at a later date if they decided. Hell, Audi seems able to flip-flop constantly. Nevertheless, it's adding further pressure to F1 in regard to the Andretti bid. In fact, the manufacturer reaffirmed that it's only prepared to enter F1 in conjunction with the new team to be entered by Andretti Global. GM President Mark Reuss had this to say with regard to the news. "We are thrilled that our new Andretti Cadillac F1 entry will be powered by a GM power unit. With our deep engineering and racing expertise, we're confident we'll develop a successful power unit for the series and position Andretti Cadillac as a true works team. We will run with the very best at the highest levels with passion and integrity that will help elevate the sport for race fans around the world." Now, General Motors joining in 2028 will give F1 7 independent engine manufacturers: Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull Powertrain / Ford, Renault, Honda, GM, and Audi. Of course, in the demanding and expensive world of F1,
Cadillac competing on the World Motorsport stage for the first time in 2 decades. For Cadillac Racing, it will be a very busy.
It seems like F1 is heading to a whole lot more diversification when it comes to setups and manufacturers, which surely can only be a good thing. The works teams will obviously have their hands tied with their respective power unit manufacturers, but this could open up the way for privateers to possibly deliver some upsets. Time will tell. Ben Sulayem, president of the FIA, who does not see eye to eye with Formula One management, Liberty Media tweeted his support for GM's move. "Delighted with the news that GM has registered as a PU supplier for FIA F1. This is a further endorsement of the FIA's PU regulations. The presence of iconic American brands Andretti and GM is good for the sport." Now, Formula One management has been quiet so far on the news. Last month, Andretti's team was accepted by the FIA, but Andretti is yet to agree commercial terms with Formula One management. Although this adds a lot of pressure to the move, and it looks like F1 simply talking about dilution may not be enough to quell the Andretti bid now. It seems to be gaining a lot of momentum. Formula One has made Andretti jump through hoops, and Andretti has risen to the occasion every time, and in doing so has seemingly gained more fans every time as well. Toto Wolff, who has been a vocal opponent to Andretti's bid, said this last summer: "Andretti is a great name, but this is sport and this is business, and we need to understand what it is that you can provide to the sport." However, Toto, it seems, has begun to slightly soften his stance, although clearly not entirely convinced, saying, "Cadillac and GM, that's a statement. Certainly them joining forces with Andretti is definitely a positive. It gives it another angle that may or may not be beneficial for Formula One, but definitely nobody would ever question GM's or Cadillac's pedigree in motorsport, and obviously as a global auto company." James Vowles, however, another long-standing critic of expanding the grid, has not softened his stance. He led with this rather patronizing statement: "We're always open to the sport growing, but the truth behind it is the sport financially needs to become more and more successful. Whoever joins in that environment needs to bring with it effectively the growth that is required in order for everyone else to be in a better position, or at least a neutral position." And I think it's been the statement from the outset, from the beginning. There are a lot of lovely things about Andretti and about Cadillac. It just needs to have a good understanding of how it will grow the sport, in what way, and what the growth will be. And talking of growth, Liberty Media, F1's owners, have been very open about their eagerness to grow the sport in the lucrative market that is the United States, highlighted by the fact that they've dropped $500 million on the upcoming Las Vegas GP, and yet, at the same time, they are so keen to keep an American team out of the sport. An American team would surely get so many more fans in the US to tune in, and at this point, turning away the bid may cause a lot of fans to turn away. Public support really appears to be swelling for Andretti. Now, the innate fear, dislike of an American team embarrassing European car manufacturers to one side, a big sticking point for F1 teams is that Andretti would expand the grid to 11 teams, thus all profits from the GPs would now be smaller as there are more groups to share the profits between. Dilution. How exactly the profits are divided up between the teams and F1 Liberty Media is unknown. It's all wrapped up within the shadowy and jealously guarded Concord Agreement that the public is not given the nitty-gritty about. However, with 3 races now in the US and F1 having some success there, but still a long way to go yet, an American car brand would be just what the American market needs for F1 to really blow up. Yes, the profit pie will be divided more ways, but it will be a smaller share of a bigger pie.